Hi. Hey, everybody who's listening to this broadcast. It's the 3rd of August 2017, and this is the Ask Ian show, and my name is Ian. As you might have guessed already. And today is my 29th birthday. That is partly why I decided to record this episode just today. I really didn't plan on it in any way. It just dawned on me this morning that I want to do it. And a huge reason for it was I got shown a lot of love from the outside, from many people. And let's say some form of reconciliation happened, and it was mostly inside of myself. So I felt blessed, and I still feel very blessed to have had these amazing adventures with people. It might sound a little corny, like adventures, but it's true. I've had many maybe even insane relationships, but they've all served me in some way. I don't think there's anything new about this, but this finally dawned on me this morning, after years and years of maybe some non-communication. The reconciliation happened seemingly out of nowhere. And it's strange for me because this bond, maybe it's just from my end, but this bond that was formed long ago, it was like 12 years ago when we first met. I still feel some of it, maybe even all of it, all of the bond. And it seems like this is a type of bond that is it's just there for me to enjoy and appreciate and acknowledge and see. There's no judgment, or just appreciation. Unfortunately, it took a lot of time for this to happen, but I'm happy it did. But I'm very happy it did. And grateful. Definitely very grateful. And a lot of love. Just people remembering me and wanting to talk to me, and just feels good. And now on to the more of a topic of this podcast. Before I get to the topic, it's just I want to mention my good friend Richard Arsic, who has given me the opportunity to talk about the Mandela effect. And Richard, if you're listening to this, which I truly hope you are, this is such a huge topic, like the Mandela effect. I've started researching it, but it will take me more time to gather an understanding of it and maybe develop my own understanding and input to it. But it's intriguing. But what the Mandela effect really shows, off the bat, is how much we don't know, and how much we have to learn. And this makes it exciting. This makes living on this planet more exciting. Learning, discovering, exploring new theories, new things, new people, new races, new beings, energies. So Richard, if you're listening, I'm definitely on it, but it will probably take me more time. And a part of why I didn't want to do this on the Mandela effect is because I've had such a huge topic or a map or framework, let's say framework in mind, that I think it's time for me to talk about this, because it's very important. I feel like it's more important than a lot of things right now. And it is to do with communication. Open communication between two or more individuals. Of course, you can use it on your own mind, on your own experience, but it's more directed towards two or more people. And I think it's quite good here to start with an example. So a common thing, or maybe like a little preface, like a common thing or theme in today's relationships is there are two persons, let's say in a closer relationship, and all is well. Let's say all is well, and they have a lovely time. They spend good amount of time together. They know their parents, each other's parents and families, and the sex is awesome, and it's good. It's very good. But all of a sudden, let's say one person has this, let's say, idea or a desire or a whim or a thought that, hey, I want to have sex with other people. Let's say this is a pretty heavy example. I gotta say, like I think it's good to illustrate what I mean. So, what can now happen? Usually, what I see is like it's when a person gets that desire or an idea, or it's then that's the golden rule, without even hesitating or asking about it or thinking about it. Okay, now it's the other relation. Oh, I love them, but it's over because I want to have sex with other people. So that's a pretty common way of going about it or thinking about it. But what I see, what can happen here, and I gotta say very clearly that this doesn't have to be having sex with other people. This can be absolutely anything. So let's go back to the example that let's say the person has already had the thought, they're thinking about it, and they're going crazy, and they're feeling a lot of feelings and emotions. Now what can happen here? Like, that person can either deal with it, like see it what it is it just whim, like explore it a little, and think about it, or have some inquiry about it, like, oh, is this really what I want? Or is this just a whim, like a momentary, like thing, like the air just was very thick and the sunset was on and you saw this pretty guy or pretty lady and they were all sexy and blah blah blah, and you wanted to have sex with them while being in a committed relationship. Now, they're like the scenarios of this situation are, I don't know if they're endless, but they're very, very vast. There are a huge number of what can happen. Okay, let's say they aren't able to deal with it themselves. They're like unsure, and they go to someone else, like to speak about it, or to talk with like a therapist or something, or like a friend, or yeah, like a friend, like a good friend. And let's say the friend gives good solid advice, and they deal with it, and like they say, oh, it's just a whim. It's just a whim. I have no actual desire to go and have sex with other people. Now, this is good. So you get back. The person gets back to the relationship, and all is well. But it's still nagging in the back of his or her mind, and it's coming up and it's coming up, and finally they decide that, yeah, this is it. They want to be with other people or do nasty things to other people. And then they try to suppress it. That's one possible thing that can happen. Or they start doing it behind someone's back, just to not lose their love, or just to keep that relationship just in case. But I'm here to offer what I perceive to be a more healthier alternative. Let's say the person who has finally comes to the conclusion that they would like to see other people or have sex with other people, and they go to the person and say their lover or their committed partner and say, hey, this is what's happening. This is what's happening. I want to do this. I have this very strong desire to do this. Now many things can happen from the other person's point of view, which are all valid, of course. Emotional reactions, pain. Pretty sure there will be pain after hearing something like that. And that person, without knowing or without realizing or having awareness of what's happening to them, can go into all kinds of reactions like blame and shame, you name it, a lot of things. But what can happen here with awareness if the person who just got the news, like, this is pretty big news, this is huge news, life-changing news, and what can they do? What's the alternative to those reactions? All reactions are all valid and, of course, understandable. But what are the other opportunities, let's say? That person can acknowledge, hey, I'm having this very strong pain reaction in my body, and it's very painful for me to take this in right now, and it's hard. And in that, they go into themselves. They put attention to themselves. So instead of going into reactive, painful reactions, they deal with their own reaction themselves. Why is that important? It is important because then they have awareness of what's really going on. Then they know that the decision itself doesn't have anything to do with them. Quite literally, it's their decision to do that. Now, the conversation can move in many ways. It can go into like, are you sure? Are you sure you want to do this? Which is perfectly normal. And the other person, yeah, like, I'm sure. I want to do this. And let's say now the ball is again on the court of the person who just heard the news. Or rather, it's in both of their courts, because now there's dialogue happening. There's open communication happening about what's actually going on. What's really going on? one person is expressing their needs and wants and desires, and the other person is acknowledging that it's making them feel somehow. It's causing a reaction in them. And while still being in the conversation, they're taking care of themselves in feeling their feelings and being aware of what's really going on within themselves. That brings awareness to the conversation and the situation itself. Now, this is one example what can happen. Like the person who just heard the news can say, "Hey, but what does it mean? Do you want to break up with me, or do you don't want to see me anymore?" Another person can go, "No, not really. I really love you. I really want to be with you, and really enjoy being with you. And I like our relationship, but I have this really strong desire to go and do whatever it is I need to do." Now, again, the other person, this all can bring up a lot of stuff or emotional reactions within those people. But maintaining awareness here. Now the person can see, okay, I feel some pain, but he or she has awareness to analyze it or see the situation for what it is. It is a choice. So now they have a choice. So I get to choose. Hey, do I want to be in this type of relationship where where one person is, let's say, doing a lot of stuff with other people? Or do I want to do that myself, or it is not acceptable for me? So these are the main choices. And let's say, hey, let's say the person says, hey, this is not acceptable for me, and I can't be in this type of a close relationship with you anymore. And the other person now might have a painful reaction, like, oh, I'm losing the love from that person, and feeling the pain of that. And but while maintaining awareness of their emotional life, let's say, they're able to understand, okay, this makes me feel pain, and I feel kind of sad, because I believe somewhere in the back of my mind I was hoping you would say or feel otherwise. And now for that person, there is, like, the situation has come to its conclusion, let's say, because the change in one person's desires or wants and needs has shifted so drastically that one person can't be in that type of relationship. Now, of course, this discussion can continue on, like, hey, do I want this, or how do we proceed to this? But I hope I'm making the whole point of what I want to convey to you is that how this happens. One person becomes clear within themselves, using help, using other people, using, I don't know, videos, whatever, that like they have a specific desire or need or want that they're wanting to explore, learn, do, experience, and they understand that it's really important to them and they want to do it. And then they go to the other person and say it openly, hey, I want to do this. This is really important to me. And the other person can then receive it openly. I'm just gathering my thoughts a little here. This is an important part. I want to be really clear on how I say this. One person becomes clear on what they want, goes to the other person, expresses their feelings, their desires, their needs, their wants, thoughts. The other person hears it, listens to it. Now, this can obviously go like this, that the person who received it needs more time to think about it and discuss it and come to an emotional clarity within themselves. And after they've reached it, while processing their emotions, their ideas, their thoughts, their reactions, because literally there can be like ego reactions, like I don't want to me, selfish reactions to whatever the topic might be, and then comes back to the other person, like, hey, this is not acceptable, or this is acceptable, or this is what I would like. This is what I would like. These are my needs. These are my desires. This is what's important to me. And if they find some consensus and compromise within it all, the relationship can continue to evolve into the space they've agreed upon. Or if they don't agree, if they can't find a compromise or a consensus, the relationship, as it were, has to end. So this is a lot. This is very important, I believe. In every type of relationship, be it professional, be it like we had in the example, like a romantic relationship, be it in gay, I don't know, transgender, alien relationships, whatever the type of relationship is, there has to be open communication and healthy expressing of one's desires. And I say healthy because, like, it can be, of course, it can be manipulative and like how do I put this? Very from a very selfish place, or no, that's not it. Yeah, I'm having trouble finding words to this particular part. Like, you know when it's healthy. maybe I should give an example of what I perceive as healthy. Like, oh, of course, I have good example. Like, one form is expressing your desires or my desires. I can say, hey, this is how I feel, and I would like this. Or even you can even say, hey, this is how I feel. I don't know exactly what I want, but I would like to discuss it with you. That's healthy. Instead of nagging or being like, you're not doing this enough, or you're like a douchebag, or you're bad, or blah blah blah. Hey, no. Like, hey, this is how I feel. This is what I think. And I would like to discuss this with you. Like, even if you don't have the emotional clarity, just say, hey, I don't have emotional clarity, but I would like to have it. And I would like to discuss this with you, so in the hopes of achieving it. This is a very good example, I think. And then the other person can either receive that and be, oh, sure, of course. Or, hey, I don't have the time for it. I believe you're getting the picture by now. It's just like, it's not even authentic, or it's just the truth. Just express the truth as much as you can. And I will say it again, just express the truth as much as you can. And take the time to develop an understanding of what truth is actually in the moment for you. It might take time, and then express it to whoever needs to hear it, or whoever you have the thing with, or whoever you think needs to hear this. No, this is scary. This is very scary. I know. But I believe this is many, many times better than suffering without any need to suffer. And this can work in many, many ways. This can, like, you can even start with, like, hey, I would like to speak with you. I have a need to, or a desire, or want to speak with you. And the other person can say, no, I don't want to right now. Now, this is a tricky part. I think this is an important part. This is where like the honest assessment of your own inner guidance and like wisdom really comes in. Like, how long are you willing to stay in whichever situation you are? Like, let's say, like, the person isn't, like, you have this desire to speak and express yourself openly, and the other person just, they don't, and and you wait and you ask again, and they still don't. Like, this is the most, I believe, like the most difficult part, because it's really easy to go into like a somewhat narcissistic place of like, okay, they're not doing this, so I'm not getting my needs met, so I'm going to go and blah 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 blah. Be like a very like a like a child. I don't want to say a child, but it's like a pretty immature reaction to it. Although it does exist, and it is, but like, just notice yourself having it. There's no need to do anything about it. Just, hey, I'm having this I'm having this emotional reaction in myself because you probably are feeling some pain, and I'm not getting my needs met, so I want to end the relationship or blah blah blah, whatever, do weird things. So this is the place where you really have to, know your boundaries. Like, hey, this is like, you might get to a place like later down the road, like, hey, this is enough, and you go to the person, like, say, hey, I've given you this and this and this, so many opportunities, I really want to speak. Are you able to do that? And if they're still not, like, somewhere you gotta cross the line, or I don't know what the expression here is exactly. You'll probably know if you practice this. Now I know these are difficult topics, and it's not easy to do what I just explained here, or what I give an example of here. It isn't. Absolutely, it isn't. But like, in our guts, in our minds, in our intuition, we know it's the right thing to do. It's very simple, but it's not easy. Like, the concept of doing it and seeing it like this, it's very simple, but it's quite hard to do sometimes. This is what's been on my mind for a long time, and what I've done my best to practice in my own relationships. It becomes much easier. Like, maybe that's wrong. Like, simpler. It becomes more simple. More ease can flow. More freedom is like, the more freedom is right here. Like, it's right here. It's like on our doorstep. It's knocking. It's constantly knocking. Hey, I'm here. Please use this. I really want to be free. And for me, being free is of utmost importance. I really enjoy freedom. I enjoy being free. I enjoy like being free from bullshit mind games and just blah blah, emotional manipulation, whatever. Like, you get the point. I enjoy freedom. I enjoy flow. And in my relationship, I enjoy honest expression, like truthful expression. I know I sometimes make mistakes there myself. It's, of course, but this is this is, in my view, one step closer to our own freedom. And I gotta say towards the freedom of others as well, because whether we like it or not, we have an effect on others. This doesn't mean we have to take responsibility for them. No, but it actually, like for me, it gives great, like brings me great joy if I can say something or do something sometimes that can bring people some freedom. And sometimes speaking what I feel or what I desire or what I want can bring people huge amounts of freedom, because like they get to know what I want, and maybe, just maybe, what I want isn't actually what they want, or it is, and we both want the same thing, or we all want the same thing. And then we can start moving towards the actual thing we want, or go in directions each of us desires, wants to do. So, yes, this is it. I feel amazing. I feel great to have finally spoken about this and recorded some of this. I hope you really listened to this until this part, because I feel like there are a lot of good things here. Literally a lot of good things here. And I believe in this type of expression. So good. Very good. Thank you all again for your birthday wishes, and extremely grateful. Thank you a lot, and a special shout out to my very own special lady, Terja, who gave me this amazing birthday present. Very, very cool. And thank you for listening. If you have questions, definitely ask them. Let's build more open, honest, truthful, committed society and community together. Thanks for listening. Bye.